Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another production of the American Collegiate Hockey Association on Price Productions. I'm Dale Ganthony here with you tonight. Here we have the second of two meetings this weekend between the Colorado State University Rams Division III squad and the University of Colorado Springs here tonight. CSU looking to bounce back from a 6-2 setback they suffered last night at the hands of these very same Mountain Lions. Trying to get back in the win column here this evening. Starting lineups here for the hometown Rams. They're going to go with Braden Robinson in between the pipes. He played forward out here for the team last night. He will be backed up on defense with Caleb Anson and Kellen Metzger on his defensive flanks. Jacob Zier will be centering the top line this evening. He will be playing with Daniel Skorupski on the left side and Nathan Salvatore on the right. Now, for the visiting Mountain Lions, they go with Victor Fox getting his first start of the weekend here tonight. He'll be backed up by Bryce Aggs, and Thomas Thrutchley on defense, along with Ed Foster on the left wing, beg your pardon, Alex Fox on the right, and they'll be centered by Cole Aggs here this evening. So we're just about set for the start of play here this evening. It's the CSU Rams and Colorado Springs Mountain Lions in the ACHA. You're watching Price Productions. Both teams taking the ice here, getting set for the start of play at the Edora Pool Ice Center in Fort Collins, Colorado for the second of two meetings between the Colorado State Rams and the Colorado Springs Mountain Lions. Both teams here getting set for play this evening. Mountain Lions getting the better of Colorado State last night by a margin of 6-2 in that contest. Rams looking to bounce back. CSU Division III 0 for 3 in the win column this year, looking for their first win of the season so far. Same cannot be said for the University of Colorado Springs. They have a 4-1 record as of this point in the season tonight. Both teams, this is their final game before the Thanksgiving holiday, final game before the end of this calendar year 2025. Both of these teams will be given a rest until the calendar turns over to the 2026 new year. So both teams leaving everything out there here tonight. We get set to go 5-on-5 either way. Goaltending matchup tonight, you got Braden Robinson in the net for white-jerseyed CSU, making his second start in the last 3 games. On the other side is Victor Fox, who's playing in his second game of the season. He had a win already under his belt this season as both teams chomping at the bit, getting ready to get started. The puck drops, and we are underway here at Epic. Back in its own zone, the Mountain Lions will revolve with Thomas Thrutchley out of his own zone. Not getting very far. Played out by Edward Foster, number 9 in the black and gold. Turn the puck over to Jacob Zier. He and the Ram defense will take over. Pass comes through the stick of Daniel Skorupski. He, in his first season with the Division III program here at CSU, played up the wall and only as far as a turning Chase Moses. Chase Moses, who scored last night in the 6-2 loss. Puck gets turned away. That's Cole Aggs, number 17 in the black here this evening, being pressured quickly by Nicholas Fiegelstaller. A centering pass clicks off a skate there. That's Bryce Geddes in front of the net there doing his job defensively. He'll turn back around, and Thrutchley will go chase after it for the Mountain Lions. Heavy collision into the corner boards as it comes back to Fiegelstaller with a drive deflected wide of Victor Fox. Centering pass to no white jerseys in the vicinity there as Austin Donaldson will speed back to recollect this puck. Just over a minute and 10 seconds gone by here in period number 1. Noah Chandler had the puck click off of his blade. This is Abdullah Ba revolving back through center before he was relieved of the puck by Fiegelstaller. Rams are going to make a line change here during active play. This puck clicks off of a couple of shin pads in front before Donaldson recaptures. Donaldson going up the gut, off the stick there of Nicholas Patty, also making his season debut here with the Rams tonight. Quentin Lavitt, big-bodied winger for the Rams, threw his weight around a good few times there as he lays another big hit out there in neutral ice. This is a delayed penalty call against the Rams. It's touched up by Robinson, and this will be the game's first minor penalty with 17:52 to go here in the first period. We just talked about Quentin Lavitt and his ability to throw his weight around there. He got a little too rambunctious away from the play, and so he will go to his room for the next 2 minutes. Colorado State, a man down for the first time this evening. We're nearing the top of the 7 o'clock hour here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Off the draw, that was Aggs, who had his wrist shot blocked. CSU making a break for it shorthanded. Jacob Zier curls a pass into the interior, comes all the way through. Intended for Skorupski, who was just flattened by Bryce Geddes in the corner there, who threw a nice, sturdy counter hit. Gaining the zone again, this is Thrutchley into the interior. Blocked in front. Slapper gets blocked, and it's stuck in the skates of Kellen Metzger. Kept alive by the Mountain Lions until this one is vacuumed up by Braden Robinson, making his first save of the evening. Still a minute 26 to go in the roughing minor to Quentin Lavitt. Wrist shot off the draw, floats wide of Robinson. coming off the stick of Ags. Colorado State able to play this clear. Daniel Skorupski doing the honors. Clearing pass clicks off of the skate boots there of Caleb Anson. Played his youth hockey with the Tahoe Grizzlies. Anson, a native of Las Vegas, Nevada. Thomas Thrutchley gets to the outside. His centering pass intended for Alexander Fox clicks wide. And CSU has plenty of time to play this clear all the way down the length of the ice. Victor Fox thinks it's icing, but he forgot that his team is a man to the good still for another 34 seconds. Thrutchley getting down into the wing, a neat toe drag move into the middle, had it poke checked away by Metzger. Thrutchley's back rink wide feed spots Ags curling away. Ags retreats from the zone, had it poked away, and now there's a foot race the other way. Fiegelstaller going in shorthanded. Pad save by Victor Fox. His first save of the game. A tester there on the shorthanded opportunity. Back the other way come the Mountain Lions with Edward Foster on his curl and drag move. He lost it to Donaldson. Fiegelstaller will try it again as CSU's back to even strength. Fiegelstaller knifing to the middle. Ran into some traffic there, including a teammate. That was looked like it was Chase Moses coming out off the bench there, joining the attack. Puck dribbles back to center. Anson can't calm that bouncing puck down. Another collision in the neutral ice there with Edward Foster getting involved. Here comes CSU again with Moses, one-on-one up the middle. To his backhand, a weak backhanded shot patted aside by Victor Fox. Centering pass turned away. Now back come the Mountain Lions with Ba. Pass is a bit too strong for him, and Donaldson will recollect. Playing it up the wall, intended for Kellen Metzger, but it got through him. Pass is turned over, delayed offside, now washed out as the Rams tag up. Rink-wide pass thieved by Donaldson. He'll try to curl into the offensive zone, but had it poked off of his stick. Just past the 5-minute mark here of the first period. Still no score here in this one. Second of back-to-back meetings. These two teams playing each other for the second time in less than 24 hours. It was a 10 o'clock start last night for these two squads. Now as Chase Moses backhands this one in from long range, sending in Anson after it. Trying to play it up the wall. Abdullah Bai doing a good job at shutting off his man along the half wall. Anson comes away with it, and a wrist shot is vacuumed up by the right-handed catching Victor Fox. Already we've played 5:39 of this first period here as we've just reached the 7 o'clock hour local time here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Digging in to take this face-off for the Rams, this is Colin MacArthur, also playing in his first season with the Division III Rams this year. Around the boards but not out, Quentin Lavitt in his first shift since being relieved from the penalty box throws a wrister that clicks off the outside of the goal. Puck gets deflected out into neutral ice where Lavitt will retrace his steps. Austin Donaldson in there to help. Donaldson leaves it back for Lavitt, and he will skate uncontested into the attacking zone. He gets wide and lets it go, blocked by the shin pad of Connor Nielsen, number 6 in the black. This puck deflects back to center. By trying to make a break for it, had his stick lifted by Lavitt. By closing, Lavitt with a neat move to get away from Abdullah and now play it clear with the help of Jacob Zier. Skorupski got stood up in the middle of the ice by Edward Foster. Lavitt with a wrist shot squelched as it went to the corner boards. That pass, not too strong to get past Donaldson, but on the second effort, it does get poked back into neutral ice. Stretch pass comes off the stick of number 17 in the white, Noah Chandler. Played his 14U AA hockey with the New Mexico Ice Wolves back in 2021 and 22. Retracing his steps again, this is Austin Donaldson. Already had the puck on his stick a lot here in this game as this rink-wide pass indirect is a bit too strong, and so it goes for icing against CSU. With 12:46 to go in the opening period. Face-off controlled by the Mountain Lions, quickly swept down low by Cole Aggs. Recaptured by Austin Donaldson of CSU. Donaldson off the curl, catches Kellen Metzger in stride. To the outside, went for the wrister, but he lost control of the puck. Played it back up to Zier, he keeps it. Metzger from the sharp angle, driving to the front of the net. Turns the cooker, plays it topside for an Anson wrist shot. Off the mask of Fox, he didn't know where it went. It comes around to the corner where it's picked up by Chase Moses. He curls one back to the point for Metzger. He does keep that in. Play continues in the offensive zone for CSU. Short-circuited there by the Mountain Lions. Back to the point for Metzger. His drive is blocked. Salvatore into the deep slot. Lets it go. Rejected by Bryce Geddes. He'll play this indirect down the length of the ice. And icing is the call against Colorado Springs. Instructions coming from Braden Robinson in the CSU net as both teams make their way back to the left of Victor Fox, native of Conifer, Colorado. Mountain Lions get control of this faceoff, up and around the boards, kept in by Kellen Metzger, sending it down low, intended for Colin MacArthur. Colin MacArthur, and friends, able to keep this in. Around the horn it comes. Carson Desai unable to keep that in. At the line, Metzger stepping up, activating from his point position, is unable to hold it. Now the Mountain Lions make a break for it with Foster. Playing it around Anson, and it's picked up on the chase by Nicholas Patty. Patty, on a second effort, will nudge this into the neutral zone before giving it right back up. Neat move into the attacking territory by Cole Aggs. Aggs spins back, lost it to Patty, and he will play it back out of the zone with just under 11 minutes to go in period number 1. Turnover. Skorupski on the fly. Head fakes to the outside, has to catch up to that biscuit. Salvatore in there to lend a help as it comes around the corner curve. He keeps it south of the goal line, sending Skorupski in after it. He goes crashing into the end boards with Nielsen. And the Mountain Lions with Foster able to play this clear, only as far as, yet again, Austin Donaldson. He sends a wrister right on, pad save for Fox, and he'll melt the rebound before Donaldson can catch up to it. 10-16 left in the first period. Face-off picked up by Connor Nielsen. For Colorado Springs, Quentin Lavitt unable to hold the line there. Backing him up was Jacob Zier, though. Rams in good shape defensively. They curl back as we've hit the midway mark of the first period. Skating into the zone with it is Lavitt. He comes in ahead of the play. This is offside against CSU with 9:49 left in period number 1. Puck gets played into the corner. Drawing a beat after it is Connor Nielsen. He spins away from a check. Moses with a sharp angle wrist shot off the skirt of the goal. Baugh interrupted there by Moses. Chase Moses turns the corner, being pressured by Nielsen all the way. Centering pass comes through unanswered. Donaldson at the point, walking the line. Wrister on the way, kick out save by Fox. Donaldson to his own rebound, plays it back out to the point. Lavitt unable to field that cleanly, and so the Rams are forced to give up the zone. Fiegelstaller plays this hard off the wall, where it's recaptured by Thomas Thrutchley, number 11. All the way up the wall. Donaldson sees this played in deep around behind Braden Robinson. Lavitt will reverse field. Donaldson again with some get up and go out of his own zone. In tandem with Chandler, his wrist shot blocked as it deflects to the corner. Nielsen plays this up ahead, on through Metzger and down. Icing is washed out. 8:30 to go in the first period. Aggs trying to tiptoe down the wing. Trying to get past Fiegelstaller. He'll just plant him up against the boards. And Metzger will skate away with it. Kellen Metzger accelerating out of his own zone, 2-on-2. Metzger lets it fly, deflected up and over top of the cage by Bryce Geddes. Keeping it in at the line, play continues. Wrist shot from MacArthur, erased before it got to the net. And Abdullahi Ba will skate this in to the interior, made a nice move before he was undercut by Fiegelstaller. Back the other way, racing into the zone is Anson. He backhands one through the crease and wide. Next to it was Patty, backed up there by Anson, and then up into the point for DIII. His wrist shot goes wide. Metzger jumping in from the point again. Centering pass comes on through. Great glove save by Fox. He robbed Anson there on the backside feed. Rams forced to vacate the zone. 7.5 to go in period number 1. DIII trying to thread that pass through the middle. Not getting there. Metzger trying to curl to the front. Tried to one-hand a backhand on goal, but he was just too far out of his reach. Baugh accelerating out of his own end, not getting very far. A long wrist shot from Colin MacArthur is vacuumed up by Fox. He'll get a whistle here with 7:04 to go in the first period. Back and forth action here to start this period. The puck gets turned over. Almost a giveaway there by the CSU Rams as Quinton Lavitt will backpedal into his own zone. Donaldson flings one rink wide for Skorupski. He'll move into the zone. Skorupski with a wide angle shot punched away by Fox. And then Skorupski gets leveled in the corner underneath behind the net by Foster. Down the wing, Neat moves into the zone. A wrist shot, pad to the side by Robinson. Second chance there, loose in the front, and Robinson will cover it up. That was Cole Aggs causing a commotion in front of the net there in tandem with Board. And the CSU netminder was wise to the task. Puck gets played back out to the point. Still kept alive by Thomas Thrutchley. Turned it over. Centering pass deflected. Played up and into the end zone safety netting for a whistle. Cleared out of there by Nathan Salvatore. He was unhappy with himself there as he was unable to keep that in the field of play. We have 6:15 to go in the first. Puck gets played back into the defensive zone where it's captured by Austin Donaldson. Already called his name a ton this season. We're not even through the first period. Skorupski's rink-wide pass gets deflected. Donaldson goes back to recapture. He's roving all over the defensive zone, all three zones here in the start of play tonight. Defensive zone pass a bit too strong. Guess who has the puck again? He hands it ahead to Salvatore with a wrist shot, answered by his opposite number 11, Thomas Thrutchley. Salvatore sees Thrutchley come away with it. Play it to the point, but not out. Off the bench, this is Metzger. Good work along the wall before he is hit by He's hit by Geddes. MacArthur's pass to the front, or I beg your pardon, that was Salvatore. Still went unanswered. Cole Aggs trying to spring a break the other way. Angles in and fires. A blocker save for Robinson. Back the other way. Now comes Salvatore. Potential 2-on-1. Trying to get his stick free. Moses in on the forecheck. Didn't get a shot away. Metzger fires. Deflected off the outside of the Cajun wide. Fox is scrambling in front of the net. Off the curl is banked to the wall. The referee blew the whistle. The puck came loose, but the official lost sight of it. Bit of an unfortunate break for CSU, but they had a great chance there off the rush with just a shade over 5 minutes remaining in the first period. Another face-off here controlled by CSU. Figelstaller's wrister was blocked. Metzger into the slot, deflected just wide. Had Moses there on a bank shot attempt again. The net this time, it looks like it came off the peg. So the official again stopping play. .449 left in the first period. Still no score in this one. Puck gets cleared out of the zone. Metzger there to fetch. Puck gets backhanded up and out of play. Trying to spring a break the other way was Ed Foster. He sent one out into the safety netting on the near side. Chase Moses in on the draw, wins it back to Metzger. Switch the point of attack. Anson's wrist shot floats wide on the far side of Victor Fox. Played around the wall. Anson activates from his point position and keeps it along the woodwork. Metzger's also there to help. Metzger centering pass is a nice one. Moses fires. Good block in front of the net there by Thrutchley. Rebound carries to the slot. Big slapper just gunned wide by Figelsstaller. Puck cleared but not out. Again, this is CSU. Chandler with a rip. Blocked in front by Thrutchley. Turning out of the corner. Metzger with a drive. Gloves save. Fox. He'll hold. Good action here in this one. We have less than 4 minutes to play in the first period. Colin MacArthur not able to control that faceoff for CSU. Austin Donaldson at the point. Play it down low. Heavy hit there along the boards. There's a penalty call coming against the Mountain Lions as it's touched up. The penalty's going to go against Edward Foster as he ran his man down in the corner. Ms. Carson Desaya, who was the receiver of the brunt of that hit. And it's Ed Foster who will sit, giving Colorado State their first power play of the night with 3:39 to go in the first period. Power play unit over the boards for CSU. Jacob Zier taking the faceoff. He won it back to Salvatore, and Donaldson will set up the formation. Wrist shot. Didn't get through to the net. Salvatore rink-wide feed, a bit too strong for Donaldson or for Skorupski. It exploded off of his blade. Zier from south of the goal line out to Skorupski again. It bounces off of his tape, forcing CSU to retreat. Caleb Anson takes the indirect, plays it to Salvatore. He'll move laterally into the zone, send in Skorupski. Skorupski will play this off the end boards. Back to Anson. Anson gets topside. Plays it out to Zier. Quickly for Donaldson. He overlaps with Skorupski. Turn the puck over. CSU keeping it in the offensive zone with Salvatore. Moving personnel around, a slap shot stick save for Fox off the stick of Zier. Second opportunity, unable to hold it there. Fox trying to get back to his net. Donaldson way up from the point position now. A minute left on the Ram power play. Play continues in the offensive zone that stayed on side. Anson with a wrist shot. Chested down by Fox. Rebound loose. Tried to stuff it on the short side, and it was lifted over top of the cage by Nathan Salvatore. He had a yawning net, and he airmailed it over the crossbar and out of play with 2:19 left in period number 1. Got about 40 seconds left in the power play for CSU. Caleb Anson swinging a miss on his wrist shot. Salvatore at the point. Plays it. We're on the wrong side for Zier. It gets on through. Donaldson and Zier working in tandem. They regain possession. Zier fires, deflected in front. Rebound loose in the slot, and it Karen wide. Good defense by the Mountain Lions because Fox had slid out of his crease. Zier's pass gets deflected. Kept in the zone there for Salvatore south of the goal line. Thrutchley there to bother him, and he knocks him down to the ice. Donaldson staying active with it against Thrutchley, 2 against 1. Donaldson comes away with it. The Mountain Lions are set to get back to even strength right now as Skorupski fans on his shot. And Ed Foster's out of the box on the breakaway to the front. A bad save by Brian Robinson as Edward Foster got a jailbreak as he was set free from the penalty box. 80 seconds to go in period 1. Here comes Daniel Skorupski, 3-on-2. To the outside, drops it back. Chase Moses on the curl, lost it to Thrutchley, and it's played down the length of the ice. Icing will be waived now as we close in on 1 minute remaining in the period. Outlet pass a bit too strong, captured by Thomas Thrutchley. Played up the wing for Foster. Also a bit too strong for him. Donaldson will rim this around and it's picked up by Moses. Overskated by Ba. Now here comes Metzger. Up the middle, tried to curl. Figelstaller's drive is answered by Ba. And now here comes Thrutchley into the middle. Trying to go through 3 Ram defenders. Help coming from Board, but he was unable to get a shot away. Heavy collision into the end boards. Now it's a 3-on-1 for CSU. Chandler in, back across, and Fiegelstaller lost control of the puck. He couldn't get the shot away. Time's a wasting. Wrister from Lavick gets blocked. Lavick keeps the play alive in the offensive zone with 11 seconds left. 5 seconds now. Lavick turns, spins one to the front, and that will take us to the end of period number 1 here inside of the Adora Pool Ice Center. No score between the CSU Rams and Colorado Springs Mountain Lions through 20 minutes. We'll get you back for some more updates here in this one. This is the ACHA on Price Productions. Both teams getting ready for the start of play here in the second period with the American Collegiate Hockey Association on Price Productions. Dale Ganthon here with you at the bottom of the hour here in Fort Collins, Colorado. We just crossed the bottom of the hour. Still no score in this rematch between CSU and Colorado Springs. Both teams back and forth, a couple of good chances either way. Both teams had a power play opportunity in that first period, but obviously neither was able to convert. Both teams getting lined up here at the entrance to the ice rink here. Waiting, I believe we're waiting on the Zebras to get back out on the ice as they're making their way to the entrance. But still an exciting first period for both teams. Both goaltenders played very well. In particular, Victor Fox made several high-quality stops in that opening frame to keep it a scoreless tie. Glad you tuned in with us for this one. Again, both these teams are getting their final taste of action before the holiday break. Neither team will be playing again until the calendar turns to 2026. As both teams are now taking the ice. It's the period of the long change ahead of us here this second frame. So you got to be more thoughtful with your personnel management and more thoughtful of when you decide to go for that line change, as referee is getting everything set up for the start of play here tonight. Braden Robinson, excuse me, in between the pipes for CSU. Victor Fox doing an excellent job through 20 minutes as both teams have their five-man lineups nearly decided. "20 minutes up on the big board here in-house. Referees getting everything ready for the start of the period. And we are underway with the Colorado State Rams in control into the offensive zone. Kellen Metzger with a nice cutback move into the middle of the ice. Ran into a swarm of black jerseys and lost the puck. Coming out of the zone, Thomas Thrutchley, or I beg your pardon, that's Cole Aggs making a break for it. He's backed up by Edward Foster. He got a breakaway out of the penalty box in that first period that was stopped by Robinson. Jacob Zier with some get up and go, playing to the outside away from Thrutchley. Foster protecting the puck well, keeping it up along the lip of the boards. Anson, though, turned it back and kept it in the offensive territory. Aggs played into the middle, lost it to Metzger. Moses in after it. Thrutchley says, no, you don't. Played into the middle, kept in by CSU. Moses trying to spin one toward the cage again was erased in front. Thrutchley for Aggs. Unable to play clear on the first effort, but on the second one, he will skate it through center. Cole Aggs hooks off, checked by Moses, and he will play this back in deep, staying on side. Donaldson coughed it up. A backhander off the outside of the cage, off the stick of Alexander Fox. Played back out to neutral ice. Turned over and driven back into CSU's zone once more. Moses with Foster drawing a bead on him. Continuing to stay on the puck. Moses hooks off. Spots Anson and will play it clear with the help of Noah Chandler. Into the middle of the ice, that pass does make it to Fiegelstaller, and he will chip it in and go after it. Nicholas Fiegelstaller getting his head up. Point pass finds Donaldson. Played one through the skates to no one in particular, and so, again, the Rams will vacate the zone. Turning up is Lavitt. Pass a bit too strong for Fiegelstaller. This puck deflects into the safety netting on the near side for a whistle. 17:44 left in period number 2. Colin MacArthur in on the faceoff. Unable to get the better of that one. Nicholas Patty is the one that has the puck. Backed up by Lavitt. He was unable to tiptoe through into the attacking zone. Carson DIII floats a wrister that is guided to the back glass by Victor Fox. Puck tied up in front. DIII with a wrister and a kick-out save by Fox. Tremendous stop there in tight quarters. Now picking up speed out of his own zone is Thomas Thrutchley. He fires one wide, and this will trigger a breakout. Round and round we go. Foster able to get back in defensively as Lavitt now will skate in uncontested. Rips one off the crossbar. Quentin Lavitt with a dart. Had the goaltender beat, hit the crossbar, and it deflected up and out of play. Another offensive zone draw for the Rams. Jacob Zier to take it. Turn back over. Connor Nielsen, number 6 in the black. Unable to get this past Caleb Anson. Anson skates it all the way around. Curls one to the front, and it came right on through. Zier, nice little neat move. Gets away from one check, and the second one he was not able to skate around Cole Aggs. Metzger picking up speed. He fires and scores! Kellen Metzger with a dart against the grain on Fox, and CSU opens a scoring in this one. A great individual effort. He waits for his team to tag up, finds an opening as he gains the blue line, and a perfectly placed wrist shot gets the hometown Rams off and running. It's 1-0 here with 16:27 to go in the second period. Heavy hit along the wall as play gets set, resumes here after the Ram tally. Now here they come again, 3-on-1. It's Anson down the wing for Salvatore. He lets it go. Kick out save. Rebounds loose in the front. Another chance just jammed wide as Skorupski couldn't quite get a handle on it. Heavy hit along the boards coming from Thrutchley. Metzger, a swing and a miss. One-timer from Skorupski again. Zier pickpocketed by Nielsen. He'll play it up the wall, only as far as Metzger. Salvatore sees this played in, kept alive at the line. Another wrist shot, blockered away. Another one low on the blocker side there on Fox. That's a tough save for the young netminder. Skorupski flings this one in and wide. Catching up to it is Anson. Fires deflected down. It didn't get through to Fox. Skorupski loads, and that one wobbles into the glove of Fox for another whistle. One 1-0 Rams. Kellen Metzger doing the honors here in this one as blazing a trail back through center is Aggers. Pulls up, tried to curl through, turned it over. Back the other way, here come the Rams, a 3-on-3 rush, quickly thwarted. Fox uses that goalie stick to get it back out to center himself. Lavitt, who just hit the crossbar a few moments ago, right before Metzger made it 1-0, sees Moses cross over into the zone, play it down low to Fiegelstaller off of his tape and into the corner, where he was barreled into by Foster. Foster fell down in the corner. Puck dribbles back through the high slot, captured by Donaldson. Donaldson's saucer pass just a bit too strong for Moses. Fiegelstaller will collect, turn around, getting some help now from Donaldson way up in from the point position. His bang-bang feed in front was well defended there by Aggs. Now a 2-on-2 break the other way. Abdullah Ba not getting through the big body of Quentin Labbit. Moses with a backhanded feed out into the middle, right to a waiting Mountain Lion defender. Connor Nielsen having to go back in for this. Chandler with a centering pass, and it clicks wide off the stick of Moses. Figelstaller in front, keeping it active in the offensive zone. Figelstaller on his backhand plays it out to Donaldson. Austin Donaldson played that when it went up into the Ram logo there of Figelstaller. It will trigger the breakout for the Mountain Lions. Thrutchley leaves it in his wake for Fox. Wrister on the way, pad save by Robinson, and he will close down the rebound with 13:33 left in period number 2. Colorado State now with a defensive zone draw, tended to well there by Colin MacArthur. Rams are able to clear. This is Caleb Anson blazing in. Lost the puck trying to move to the backside, and there is a penalty call coming. Referee signals a hook from behind. Good hustle out of the zone by Caleb Anson. Colorado State going to the power play here. 13:20 to go in period number 2. Rams to their second power play of the evening. They were unsuccessful on the first effort as this backhander dribbles to the front of the net, and it's stopped by Fox. Puck comes out off of this draw. Metzger plays it to Zier and gets it right back. Switch the point of attack for Anson. This way to Skorupski. Skorupski will interchange with Anson. He'll start accelerating down the wing. A snap pass comes on through, guided away by Fox. Pressure still coming from the Rams. Anson, give and go with Metzger. Couldn't quite control that pass cleanly as Ags will turn this back around. Mountain Lions going to play a little keep away here, trying to rag some extra time off the clock on the penalty, as Kellen Metzger will retrace his steps out of his own zone. Metzger, all himself going end to end, hooks off at the hash mark, plays it back out to Skorupski. Daniel Skorupski across to Anson. Back to Skorupski. Keeps it moving for Metzger. Loads and lets it go. Deflected. Great save by Fox, and the rebound is out of play. Nathan Salvatore was posted up in front of the net. He got a stick on that, but Fox got just enough of that to deflect that up and over the crossbar and into the end zone safety netting. Another solid save by number 1 in the black. Metzger off the draw for CSU. Plays this to Anson. He lets one go. Blocked by Fox, by Alexander Fox, and out of play. 45 seconds to go in the Ram power play here. Another face-off controlled by Zier. It pops into the corner. Thrutchley using the wall. Not able to get it past Skorupski. But Ags will skate this out shorthanded. 1 against 3. Pulls up. Now we'll just try to rag time in the corner. He's relieved of the puck by Donaldson. Now Austin looks to make a break for it on the power play. Down the flank, 4-on-2. Salvatore fires. That's blocked and deflects into the half wall. Turn back down low. Skorupski from the sharp angle. Pad save for Fox. Jacob Zier on the half wall. Good poke check by Thrutchley. He's able to play it clear but not out. Skorupski fires off the skate boot. Played up and out. And that will do it for the Ram power play. as Ed Foster comes back out onto the ice. 11:23 to go in period number 2. This one comes in past Foster. Lavitt and he go shoulder to shoulder into the end boards. Round and round they go, and Donaldson comes away with the biscuit. Austin Donaldson has an odd man break opportunity here, 4-on-2. Donaldson drops it back. It was out of the reach of Chandler. And quickly short-circuited by Bryce Geddes, although Moses comes in to lend a helping hockey stick. Played through the crease, and Abdoulaye Ba will turn this back up. Answered by Figglestaller. Turnover. Charlie Board sees this one come around the end glass. Donaldson keeps it hot. Moses trying to curl away from Board, who made the strip. And Lavitt will now play it clear. Turning back into his own zone is Chase Moses. Nearing the midway point of regulation time, Kellen Metzger has given the Rams a 1-0 lead here in this second period if you're joining us a little bit late. He says skated out of the zone by Donaldson. Moses up the right wing, gets a sturdy check there from Edward Foster. Has thrown his weight around a couple of times here already in this game. Bob blows a tire. Metzger steps in, right on in, into the slot. Back door! He tried to set up Chandler on that back side. He didn't get enough of the lumber on that redirection. Board into a collision on the half wall. Metzger again activating from the point. Backhands one to the front. Anson steps and fires! Shrugged down by by Victor Fox, I beg your pardon. Puck comes down the length of the ice for an icing against Colorado Springs with 9:30 left in period number 2. Rams taking over here in this second period. Colin MacArthur, native of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, won that draw, but he won it a little bit too cleanly. Turning back into it is Metzger. Knifing to the outside. Lets another wrist shot go off the body of Fox, and he will melt the rebound. MacArthur again wins the draw back. Metzger off the set play for DIII. His wrist shot is blocked. Played clear, kept in by Anson and by DIII. DIII one-hands it, not able to keep it in on that third effort. Alexander Fox said so that he coughed it up. Anson spinning with DIII. Up the wing for MacArthur. 3 abreast at the attacking line. MacArthur on the drop. DIII had it poked off of his stick. Help comes from Anson. MacArthur from his knees, unable to keep that puck. Now back to his feet. Backhands one to the front. On the back door, it was cleared out of there by the Mountain Lions with a couple of Rams sticks in the vicinity. MacArthur to the outside. Drops it back for Anson. His backhanded pass intended for Patty now turns into a 2-on-2 break the other way. Aggs lets it fly off the glove of Robinson, and he will jump on the rebound before any more Mountain Lions get into the area. $8:19 left to go. In period number 2, this one's moving pretty quickly here now. Quentin Lavitt will try to use the net for some leverage. Braces for the hit there that came from Alexander Fox, and now here come the Rams with Jacob Zier. Zier with a wide-angle wrist shot into the glove of Victor Fox. There's no rebound. Zier in to take this draw. He won it back to Donaldson. He played it on the wrong side of Skorupski. Turning away from pressure is Geddes. He ran right into Daniel Skorupski. Defender got spilled into the corner. That was Connor Nielsen, who was dumped. Now a 3-on-2 potentially here for the Mountain Lions. Aggs walks in and fires a kick-out save for Braden Robinson. And he sent that rebound away from traffic. Rebound out of the corner. Aggs again, fires and scores! Cole Aggs ties it up at 1. Here in Fort Collins, a good forecheck out of the corner. And Cole Aggs, you'll see it again on the replay. Couldn't quite see who that was helping him out of the corner. I think it was Foster who dragged that puck free, and Aggs with a wrist shot that squirts through the blocker of Robinson. And we're brand new at 1 apiece. 7:29 to go in the second period. We're leveled at 1 apiece now. Off the draw, Caleb Anson looking for a response. His wrist shot underneath the pad of Fox. A couple of Rams poke at it, but there was no rebound to be had. Into the offensive zone once more. Mountain Lions win this draw preliminarily. Is fenced out of the air, taken away on the run by Abdullah Ba. He's not going far. Played back in on the forecheck. Metzger sees Chandler drag this into the neutral zone, and outlet for Anson. Anson full speed ahead, turns the corner. Penalty call coming up against the Mountain Lions, and this puck is touched up. Another hook is the call, as it looked to be Caleb Anson, who was flying down that right wing, who will put the CSU Rams back on the power play. This will be their 3rd manpower advantage of the night. Looking for an opportunity to reclaim the lead. Guilty party, Bryce Geddes, number 4 in the black. Bryce had a 4-point game back on October the 25th. Certainly don't want to get him going. Rams off the draw. Kellen Metzger activating from the blue line. Flings it back out to the point for Anson. Wrister on the way, blocked. On a chance to reload, he fires again, also rejected. Jacob Zier keeping it along the outside. He's pressed to the glass by Nielsen. Nielsen able to win that puck and worm it free. It bounces past Metzger, and he will have to retrace his steps. Kellen Metzger gets his head up, weaving his way through the neutral zone. Poke checked well by Aggs, who will now try to foot race him for it. Aggs comes away with it. It was kicked out of there by Metzger. Good play with a skate by Kellen. Now here comes CSU back the other way with Nathan Salvatore. Wrister on the way, right into the breadbasket of Fox, and he'll hold. .109 to go in the power play for Colorado State. Jacob Zier comes out with the puck. Zier for Skorupski. Along the half wall, back to Zier. Jacob in no hurry. Keeps it along the point for Labatt. Back to Zier getting downhill. Fire is deflected just wide. Skorupski keeps it along the woodwork, intended for Donaldson and on through. Austin catches up to it. Jacob Zier not able to get through Edward Foster, and the Rams will have to vacate the zone once more. Quick regroup for Donaldson, then to Skorupski. He lost it on the stick handle. Rams do keep it in. Moses gets downhill and fires. He scores! Chase Moses with a bullet upstairs, and the Rams do strike on the power play and reclaim the lead at 2-1. Bit of a broken play, as it was Skorupski who lost the handle in the offensive zone. Moses caught that outlet before it got out of the zone, and a picture-perfect shot. Perfect angle of that there from our crew here. As you saw that one go high glove on Fox. It's 2-1 CSU Time of the goal, 14:38. Colorado State back in front, a power play goal. Has them in front 2-1. As Austin Donaldson will recollect. Should be an unassisted marker for Chase Moses. Goals in back-to-back games for number 13. As Quentin Lavitt gallops down the wing. Lavitt keeps it moving all the way around. Looking for an option into the slot for Donaldson. Couldn't collect that from his skate to his stick. Heads up play there by both defenders trying to link up in the offensive zone. Noah Chandler first to this loose biscuit. Plays it back to the point. Quentin Lavitt keeps it in with his skate for the moment, but the Rams will have to retrace their steps through center once more. Lavitt on the reverse, spots Austin Donaldson. Up the wing for Moses. Chase Moses, uncontested into the zone. Slapper on the way. Sticked aside by Fox off the stick of Chandler. He reloads, and he golfed that one wide. Agnes jumping up from point position to recapture this loose puck. Centering pass deflected just wide. That was Moses again looking for more. Puck is cleared. It hit a Rams skate out of the zone, so no icing. Robinson out there to play it for Caleb Anson. Anson will capture this own rebound of his. Skate to the inside and let one go. Blocked aside by Fox. MacArthur drops it back. Figelstaller with a wrist shot. On through and blockered away by Fox once more. Played clear but not out by Thrutchley. Slapper on the way from Figelstaller goes wide. Another power play is coming. This one is a penalty call against CSU, and that's why Victor Fox is making a beeline for the bench. Out the other way is Thrutchley. Thrutchley to the slot. That came on through. Another slapper blocked off the stick of Aggs, and this will send the Rams to a penalty kill here with 3:04 to go in the middle period. Colorado Springs 0 for 1 on the night thus far on the power play. They had an opportunity back in the first period on which they were unable to convert. Now they look for a chance to match the Chase Moses power play strike that has the Rams in front, and they'll send Edward Foster to take the faceoff and win it. Cole Aggs the wrist shot. Stop. Rebound loose. And it's covered up by Robinson. A quick strike off the faceoff. That was the initial wrist shot off the stick of Aggs, who has the lone goal for Colorado Springs so far tonight. Another faceoff win back to Aggs. Walking the line with a wrist shot punched out of the air by Braden Robinson, and the Rams with Caleb Anson will play clear. Thomas Thrutchley takes the handoff and now will scoot into the offensive zone. Thrutchley scanning in the offensive zone. Backside pass. Brisker on the way, goes just wide. Bryce Geddes had that one on the far flank as the Mountain Lions are unable to hold this in and will have to give up the line with 1:14 on their power play. Skorupski causing a fuss in the neutral zone. He will backhand this one in and kill some more power play time. Out of his own zone is Geddes. Lumbering ahead. That pass a bit too strong for its intended target, and the Rams say thanks and will play clear. This one, Karam's, I think Fox might have misread that play, that lob aerial pass, or either it took a strange bounce or whatever. He almost let that one fall and drift into his own net. Mountain Lions get it set. It's Cole Aggs breezing into the zone with 34 seconds left on the power play. Stopping and starting down the half wall. Give it for Thrutchley. Switch it for Fox, Alexander that is. Played into the interior. CSU there to short circuit that, but not get it out. Ags at the half wall, uncontested. Stopping and starting, he had it poked away by Anson. He's trying to make a break out of there shorthanded. Caleb Anson poked it ahead, and Fox gets out of there. Good active goalie stick from the netminder there to break up that chance. Anson now is CSU's back up to even strength, and a wicked wrist shot that was just gun wide. A snapshot from Metzger, and that wrist shot went off the inside of the post. Or did that hit Victor Fox? He took his mask off right away. I thought that wrist shot got the inside of the crossbar and went out. Halting play here with under a minute to go in the period. Even when you have a goalie mask like that, when it still rings a bell when you take a shot right off the dome like that one, that was Chase Moses with a very sharp-looking wrist shot. I initially thought it got the crossbar, didn't even hit the netminder, but he reacted very quickly, and the referees reacted very quickly and blew play dead before anything worse could happen to the Colorado Springs backstop. He's all set to go now, so we'll resume the remainder of this second period. We have 58 seconds left in it. Chase Moses will win this draw back to Austin Donaldson, and he will loop this back in behind Fox's net. Moses in there. Lavitt able to keep it hot along the wall. He does so again. It's gathered by Geddes. Lavitt there tying up his man. Rams do keep it inside the zone, but it explodes off the tape of Noah Chandler and back out to center. Less than 30 seconds to go. Quentin Lavitt, rink-wide feed, catches Moses. Chase Moses drops it back. Figelstaller with a one-timer that drifts wide on the far side. Donaldson plays it off the skates of the Mountain Lion there. A wrist shot from Ba that goes wide. Less than 10 seconds to go. Moses with one last opportunity. Floats a wrist shot. Easy pickings there for Victor Fox, and the referees will let play wind down. That will do it for 2 periods. After going scoreless in the first period, both teams combined for 3 tallies here in the second, and it's the CSU Rams that have a 2-1 lead heading into the intermission. We will get you back for an intermission update here in a moment. This is the ACHA on Price Productions. Both teams about ready to get started for the third period here inside the Adora Pool Ice Center in Fort Collins. Colorado State leading the visiting Colorado Springs Mountain Lions 2-1. All 3 goals coming back in the second period, and we have a little montage prepped here for you of all 3 goals as they come on by. It was Colorado State getting on the board first. Some nice individual play there by Kellen Metzger. He found a nice opening down the crossover, and then he against a grain shot on the backhand. That made it 1-0. And then as the Rams were unable to sort out matters inside of their own zone, Cole Aggs fed a wrist shot through that beat Braden Robinson on the blocker side to tie the game at 1. And then this is with the Rams on the power play. Quick puck movement. Even though Skorupski lost the puck, Jace Moses backs him up into the play, and a picture-perfect wrist shot over the glove of Victor Fox. That has you all caught up. So both teams now occupying the benches as they're both ready to go for the start of the third period, the last regulation period of 2025 for both these squads. Here in the ACHA, both teams taking a break for the holiday season. Of course, we're less than a week away from the Thanksgiving holiday. Here tonight, Colorado State, Jacob Zier getting set to take this face-off as puck drops, and we are underway here to begin the third. Jacob Zier with some backing up from Nathan Salvatore, closing in with a wrist shot off the glove of Victor Fox, who catches with that right hand. Not something you commonly see in the game of hockey is a goaltender who catches with that right hand, but he does, and he makes it look easy. Salvatore up the middle for Skorupski, who will blaze a trail down the middle, cut to the front, and had his backhander turned away by Fox. Anson stepping in from the point position. Wrist shot on the way. He gunned it high. Rams threatening early here in the third. Jacob Zier covering up at point position, has the puck. Play it rink wide. He fanned on his pass. This will spring Aggs on the break down the wing. Aggs fires. He missed it on the far side. I think he had Robinson leaning there a little bit. Retracing back through center. This is Bryce Geddes. Backpedaling, coughed it up. Salvatore lets it fly. Deflection, score! Salvatore let it go. And it was Anson who actually got a stick on that and just kind of poked it past Fox on the far side. Now, watch it back on the replay. The clearing attempt gets muffled. And look at that little redirect off the stick there. Caleb Anson, after working hard on the forecheck, draws an assist from Salvatore. Colorado State looking for more. Chase Moses, who has the lead marker here. He scored on the power play back in the second period, as we've already noted. Centering pass from Chandler clicks out, but not clear. Flagged down by Lavitt. He played it off the wall. Backhander off the pad of Fox. Lavitt getting way up from his point position here. Tried to curl it up. He looked like he tried to set up for that little Michigan play, but unable to field it. Deflected through the slot and wide. That wrist shot coming off the stick of Donaldson. Sharp angle bid from Figelstaller gets blocked. And now Abdoulaye Ba unable to get it clear. Donaldson curls one to the front. That clicks out to center. Thrutchley unable to play it clear. Ba unable to get a stick on it. The Rams will recapture. Played up. Here's Abdoulaye once more. For Aggs. Stopping and starting away from Donaldson. Into the interior for Foster. Edward Foster burrowing his way around, keeps it along the woodwork, back intended for Aggs. Aggs coughed it up, was pushed back out to the center by Chandler, but he was unable to spring himself, looking for a breakaway. Chandler will poke it free, down the right side with a drive, answered by Fox, and the rebound in front, and another great save by Victor Fox. That was Chase Moses crashing the net there. Good forecheck by the Rams here early on in the third. We've played nearly 2.5 minutes in to this final stanza. MacArthur unable to get the better of that draw. And the horn sounded in-house here for a moment. Play continues. Anson breezing back into the offensive zone. Curls and fires. Deflected up and out of play. Anson looking for his second goal of the period. Another face-off inside the offensive zone for Colorado State. Won back again by the Mountain Lions, but turned over. Edward Foster will skate it out of the corner. Being hawked all the way there. That's Aiden MacArthur, number 2 in the white. Anson will skate this back into the zone. His backhanded feed is denied. Up the boards. Metzger skates away with it. Knifing to the middle on his backhand. Holds and fires. It trickles over to the far side. Foster diving for it to keep it out of the crease. And the Mountain Lions do play clear. Icing is washed out at the Ram goal line. Kellen Metzger will start up again. He one of the 3 goal scorers here tonight for CSU. Picked up on the fly by Salvatore. Backhanded feed. Kicked out of there by Fox. Pokes it back to the point for Donaldson. In from the point position. Donaldson fires. Deflected up and out of play. Good work defensively there. A couple of times on that shift by Edward Foster. Rams get control of this draw only for a moment as Thomas Thrutchley plays it indirect, doesn't quite get it out. Nearing the 4-minute mark of period number 3, Jacob Zier trying to worm his way out of the corner, gets the puck. Trying to let it go, he had his stick tied up before he could release the shot. Back the other way. Long wrister from Alexander Fox, vacuumed up by Robinson for no rebound. Offensive zone draw now here for Colorado Springs. They cough it up, and Nathan Salvatore is away 2 against 2. Onside into the zone. He gets run over by Geddes. Rams unable to keep it in. Now here comes the Mountain Lions. Potential 3-on-2 down the wing. Off the curl. Centering pass. Off a skate there in front. Catching up to it is Aggs. Aggs around the wall for Baugh in front. Stopped by Robinson. Rebound! And Aggs just floated it wide. He had room up there by the far post. Mountain Lions unable to keep it in. Now here come the Rams with an odd man break potential. Skorupski poke checked well at the line by Geddes. Zier up to Metzger. This way to Donaldson. Skip a man back through for Zier. Deflected. Great stop in front of the net by Victor Fox. Another redirection right in front of his crease on some nice puck movement by the Rams in their own zone, or in the offensive zone. Chase Moses with some get up and go. Flails one over top of the crossbar. Shrugged at by Fox. Puck played out to center by Charlie Board. Drawing a beat after it is Abdullah Baugh. He's unable to get there ahead of Metzger. Thomas Thrutchley pirouetting away from pressure. Gave it right up to Metzger. Metzger knifing to the middle. On the forehand, he scores! Kellen Metzger with his second of the game on the breakaway. He makes it 4-1 Colorado State. Indirect pass a bit too strong. Metzger had momentum up the middle, caught the defender flat-footed, and a nice move around the poke check of Fox for Metzger's second of the game. Time of the goal, 5:38. This one is swiveled back into the offensive zone. This will go for icing against CSU, now with 14:15 to go. Moses off the win of the draw. Donaldson gets stapled to the boards. Or I beg your pardon, that's Anson. Rams unable to escape just yet. Edward Foster gets tagged up and makes the poke check. Foster lets it fly over top of the cage. Turning back into his own zone is Nicholas Figelstaller. He'll rev it up now. Plenty of speed out of his own zone. Figelstaller down the flank, lets it fly, had that erased. Slot feed for Chandler. He pops trying to cut away from the blocker in Nielsen, unable to get it through, and the Rams will have to retrace their steps back into center ice. Austin Donaldson almost lost it on the curl there. Turned it up ice, and Chase Moses has room, moving laterally inside the neutral territory. Gains the blue line, curls a backhander before taking a big hit there along the wall. Bryce Geddes there lowering the boom as Moses turned his back to the play. Rams get tagged up with 13:10 left in regulation time. Off the bench, that was Nicholas Patty giving it away to Cole Aggs. He's stepped up into by Quentin Lavitt, turning the puck up ice. Donaldson will tiptoe away with the puck. Forced back by Baugh. He'll try the other flank, leaving it in his wake to Lavitt. Lavitt using the end dasher to get it to Patty. This way for Carson DeSaya. DeSaya tiptoeing to the outside. Slot feed just out of the reach of MacArthur, who had a lane down the middle of the ice. This one deflects right in front of the net. Look out there. Almost a Keystone Cop moment there for the Mountain Lion defense, but Victor Fox slammed those leg pads together in the nick of time. $12:20 to go here in the third period. We've just crossed the bottom of the hour here in Fort Collins with the ACHA on Price Productions. Colin MacArthur to take this draw against Edward Foster. DeSaya will play it in. Patty is next in line. He didn't get a lot of lumber on that pass. Turnover. DeSaya with the puck in his skates. Unable to keep it in for the first chance. The puck bounces free. Regathered by Anson, who blows a tire. He's still able to make the play across the rink. Puck turned over. Gathered in by Alexander Fox. Alexander Fox went in a step too late. He's offside on the entry. Foster going to put up a protest saying he got his right skate back over the blue line, but he's not going to win that argument. And the faceoff going to be right in front of the CSU bench. Off the draw, poked free by Daniel Skorupski. Mountain Lions running the traffic there. This one bounces and wobbles its way to Robinson. He played that while standing up, which in the modern day might say is a bold strategy, but he made it work. He tried to keep play moving, but he covered the puck up long enough for the whistle. So a whistle to his left. Quick off the faceoff, stopped by Robinson. It was Foster that got a jailbreak inside the bottom of the circle there, but he didn't get a lot of lumber on that shot. Foster will try it again. Had his centering pass answered by Metzger. Metzger hit Zier right in the rump, unable to get it out of the zone. Charlie Board not getting much further. Now Anson will breeze back through center before he is double-teamed in the neutral territory. Thomas Thrutchley answered by his opposite number 11 before giving him a rude shove down to the ice. Thrutchley will try it again, barreling out of his own zone. On the cutback, into the interior, lost the puck. Skorupski now will play it to Salvatore. I beg your pardon, that's Anson. Backhand sauce for Zier. Little curl move to the front, well read by Aggs. Cole Aggs down the outside. Aggs cut off, angled and finished by Donaldson. Turn it down low. Backhand centering pass. That hit the skate of the defender in front before it even got to Robinson on that in-tight chance. Alexander Fox lost the handle. Turnover, it's tight. Great pad save by Robinson as Cole Aggs had a wide open chance in front of the net. Puck clicks to Donaldson. He'll play it and skate it out. Here comes Salvatore, 2-on-2. A wrister on the way, blocked in front. He gets the rebound back. He makes his defender fall over. Salvatore whiffed on his wrist shot before he got flattened inside the attacking zone, allowing the Mountain Lions to clear. Less than 10 minutes to go in the third period here. Quinton Lavitt calming down a bouncing puck. Now he'll accelerate down the flank. Lavitt with a wrist shot. Casually gloved out of the air by Fox. Off this faceoff, Chandler trying to poke it back to the point. Long wrister off the pad of Fox. Rebound ended up behind the net. Swung around, but not out. Lavitt able to keep the hold of the blue line. Wrister on the way, wide on the short side. Moses off the curl. Feed it back door. Good defensive posture there for Bryce Geddes. And he'll force the Rams back out to center. Austin Donaldson will weave this. Lavitt, rink wide feed. Good play by Moses there to get into the attacking zone. Moses down the outside to the front, sticked away by Fox. Anson back to the point for Lavitt. Lavitt, neat move, gets right to the middle and fires. Glove save by Fox. Another face-off. This one's controlled by CSU. Kellen Metzger has 2 goals here tonight. One in the second here and one more in the third. Nice curl pass picked up on the fly by Figelstaller. Nicholas Figelstaller carries to the backhand on the lateral move. Lost it to Cole Aggs. Baugh trying to play it ahead. Didn't get a lot of wood on that. Rams played up the boards and down. This will be icing against CSU with now 8:10 to go in the third. Face off to the right of Robinson. Picked up off the draw, and a quick wrist shot sizzles wide off the stick of Aggs. Along the wall, it's Baugh. Unable to keep that down low. Thrutchley fanned on his wrist shot. It worked out, though. Baugh fires, he scores! Abdoulaye Baugh with a top-shelf dart. His first of the game and his second of the weekend. You'll see it here on the replay. Good keep-in by Thrutchley. And even though he fanned on his pass, or his shot, Baugh collects it and places it in the top corner. That's a good one for him. He's got his family in attendance here tonight. So goals in back-to-back games for Baugh. He makes it 4-2. with 7:50 to go. Off this face-off, Alexander Fox trying to advance the thrust. The puck is played by a high stick, and so there will be a whistle. Patty unable to get this clear. Two good keep-ins at the blue line off this face-off by Bryce Geddes. Played around the horn for Alexander Fox, and that puck goes in. A sharp angle shot from Alexander Fox beats Robinson, and all of a sudden, it's a one-goal game. Check it out on the replay. Alexander Fox just a fluky bounce. He was below the goal line when he threw that toward the net. A weird carom off the netminder, and suddenly it's a 4-3 game. 2 goals in quick fashion here for the Mountain Lions, and things starting to get a little bit uncomfortable here for the home faithful. Salvatore brushes it ahead for Skorupski, keeps it on his stick on the backhand. Angled and finished to the glass he is by Geddes. Geddes plays it up the wall. Short-circuited by Zier, only for a brief moment, as the Mountain Lions will force the exit. Just about 7 minutes to go in regulation time. It was 2-1 CSU after two periods. They made it 4-1 with 2 early goals here in the third, only to see the Mountain Lions respond and bring it right back to a 1-goal score. Jacob Zier angles in, tried the toe drag move, and it didn't get through. And now here come the Mountain Lions the other way with Cole Aggs. Centering pass, came on through. Aggs was not the one centering that puck. Quentin Lavitt turns it up. Aggs said so that he kept it back in, and now Salvatore will accelerate down the right flank. 1 against 3. Salvatore with a wrist shot, blocked off by Foster. Skorupski unable to get to the loose puck. Mountain Lions come away with it. It's Bryce Geddes down the wing. Wrister on the way. Blocker save by Robinson. Austin Donaldson will peel back into his own zone under 6 minutes to go. Rink indirect feed does not get out of the zone on the first try. Donaldson will use the other flank to get it to Chandler. Noah Chandler, lateral move at the blue line. Inside out, lets a wrister go wide of Fox. Turned up by Moses, trying to carve to the middle of the ice. Was stood up there, bottled up and taken to the glass quickly. Caleb Anson, who has one of the CSU goals tonight, he scored early in the third. Breezing in, lost his balance there as he went to the corner. He undercut there on Nielsen. And Cole Aggs will skate it back to center. Into space for Ba. Ba on the curl and drag. Tried to get through Metzger, nothing doing. We drift to the 5-minute left mark of the third period. Caleb Anson in the Rams holding on to now what is a 1-0 lead. As Moses gets to the outside, had it poked off of his stick there. Now sending Ba down the flank. Ba with some running room, ran out of racetrack, throws one to the front that goes unanswered. Picking it up in stride is Chandler. 4:40 to go in regulation time. He's back checked well by Alexander Fox, who will play this indirect, a bit too strong for Ba. Ba, one of 2 third-period goal scorers here for the Mountain Lions, that has this game now within reach. This one dumped in from center, patted aside by Robinson. And Kellen Metzger, I beg your pardon, that's Donaldson, will recapture. Down the wing is Colin MacArthur, barreling in, a centering pass, one-handed toward the cage, and stopped by Fox with 3:58 to go in regulation time. MacArthur's had good fortune at the face-off dot tonight, and he gets the better of this one. Donaldson is able to keep this in. Played around the wing by DIII. Indirect goes from skate to stick for Donaldson. Knifing into the middle. Had it poked off of his stick by Fox. The Alexander one. And now Aggs being hogtied from the blind side. Overskated there by MacArthur. The Mountain Lions tag up. Alexander Fox lost the puck. Nicholas Patty into space down the wing. Good step up there by Connor Nielsen, but the puck deflected up into the Mountain Lion bench. 3:20 to go in regulation time. At this point now, the Mountain Lions are going to call their timeout. Now looking for a potential game-tying strategy goal here. Again, if you're just tuning in with us a little bit late here this evening, Colorado State and Colorado Springs were scoreless after one. It was 2-1 CSU after two. Then early in the third period, they scored twice in quick succession to make it 4-1, only to see the Mountain Lions get the last two on the board also in quick succession to make it a 4-3 hockey game. And now, with a chance to potentially tie the game up here in the third period, the head coach Paul Ania has called his timeout, giving his team a chance to potentially come up with the equalizer. Timeout time is over for both benches. Both teams getting the last couple of words in here edgewise. Braden Robinson matching wits here against Victor Fox of the Mountain Lions. Face-off to come in front of the Mountain Lion bench. 3:20 to go in period number 3. Colorado State now clinging to a 1-goal lead. As Alexander Fox plays this down the wing, it's jammed inside the zone by Colorado State. One of the things that was probably discussed during that timeout for Colorado Springs was if and when they decide to pull Victor Fox for the extra attacker, as a wrist shot comes in from Anson off the shoulder of Victor Fox and out of play. Now the territorial advantage means a lot more in this tight contest, as the faceoff coming now to the left of Victor Fox means that the Mountain Lions are going to have to work the full 200 feet of the ice in order to get a shot at tying up this game. Faceoff is earned by CSU. Metzger carving into the middle. Metzger drops it back. It was poked away back to center, too far out of the reach of Anson. Rams going to have to tag up, but they lob it back in south of the goal line. All the way down the wing. It's picked off by Kellen Metzger. A blind reversal pass that's picked up by Anson. 2:40 to go. Sent in all the way down the flank. Skorupski is next. He keeps it moving. Centering pass intended for Salvatore, poked away. Nathan Salvatore off the wall. Keeps the cycle moving with Skorupski. In there to interrupt that was Geddes. Skorupski and Thrutchley in a board battle along the corner there. Anson activates from his point position. Backhanded to the front and steered aside by Thrutchley. He'll lob this on back to center. Metzger there to tie that up. And a big blindside hit there coming from Aggs on the back of Jacob Zier. Played up and into the glove of Metzger. He'll play this indirect. Poke it back to himself now as we near 100 seconds left. Backdoor feed just off the outside of the post. Jacob Zier was wide open on the back door, and he was set up wonderfully by Metzger. Here comes Aggs. Down the wing, 3-on-3. Stopping into the offensive zone. Fox has made his way to the bench. It is now 6-on-5 in favor of the Mountain Lions. Getting the signals crossed in the middle there. Anson has the empty net to shoot at, and he scores! Caleb Anson into the empty net. And the Rams avert catastrophe here and reassert the lead at 5-3. Right after the Mountain Lions pulled the goaltender, just unable to get control of the puck consistently, and Caleb Anson will pot his second of the evening at the 18-14 mark of the third period. Restore Colorado's lead at 5-3. Victor Fox back in the net for Colorado Springs. Puck is tied up in the boards there, 4-5 in that quarrel. Picked up on the wall by Foster. His wrist shot blocker to side by Robinson. Donaldson will play this indirectly, chip it to himself. Into space there, touched by Chandler. Donaldson has some room down the flank with 38 seconds to go. Down the wing, Chandler peeling out of the corner. Plays this back to center for Quentin Labbit. He's unable to hold on to it. Puck goes indirectly off of Foster into the attacking zone. From the sharp angle, he lost his balance with 15 to go. Moses, who was the first goal scorer in the game this evening, takes a 3-on-2 into the attacking zone, plays it out wide. Centering pass, bang, bang in front, stopped there by Fox with 3.2 seconds to go in regulation time. CSU going to get their first win of the season here in the Division III. They're just going to let the clock wind down, and that will do it. The CSU Division III Rams do get revenge on the visiting Colorado Springs Mountain Lions. A 5-3 finish here inside the Adora Pool Ice Center in Fort Collins. Working on getting a third period highlight montage ready for you here tonight, but it was a great game back and forth played by both teams here in this one as they get set for the closing handshake line to wrap up this year. We have that montage ready for you now, so let's commence with the third period markers here in this one. We're going to go through all of the goals here in this game, and we'll just recap everything for you. Started about 4 minutes into the second period. Kellen Metzger with a far side rip. An unassisted tally there. Then, as the Rams couldn't sort out matters in their own zone, a quick trigger from Cole Aggs tied the game at 1 at the 12:32 mark of the second period. Then on the power play, despite not a clean zone entry, Chase Moses with a neat move to get around his defenseman and a wonderful wrist shot to the top corner to make it 2-1. From there, we go to the third period where early on a clearing attempt gets blocked. Salvatore with a wrist shot and a little one-handed poke deflection by Caleb Anson. Made it 3-1. Then just about 5 minutes later, an end-to-end rush by Kellen Metzger for his second of the evening. A wonderful play there in tight around Victor Fox. Then here the Mountain Lions would get some momentum back their way. Abdoulaye Ba with a top-shelf wrist shot to make it 4-2. And then barely a minute later, all the way around the horn, Alexander Fox from the goal line throws one toward the cage. It just clicks in off of Robinson at the 12:33 mark. And lastly, with the goaltender pulled, Caleb Anson makes the strip in the neutral zone and pots one into the empty netter for his second of the period and his second of the game. That is the scoring recap for you here tonight. We thank you here for tuning in to us, and wish you a very pleasant Thanksgiving and happy holidays season here from all of us at Price Productions here. Dale Gantner, along with double the Doug Sheffield here, pulling double duty here with us tonight. You've been watching a presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association on Price Productions. Thank you so much, and have a great night.